link anything from the MacBook. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Hold on. Let me see if this will work for me. Just a second. Let's see. This thing. Okay, here we go. Boom. Down here on Instagram land. And let me put the same thing over here for Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I put that there. Oh, the links didn't even show up for real. That's how it's gonna do me. Can I put a link in here? Let's see. I know I did this yesterday. Hey, everybody. Go ahead, come in, get settled, get settled. Okay, there's the link for the workbook. If you would like the workbook over here on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I'm gonna put the link to the series in there as well if you want that. Come on in. Welcome. Today is day 2. We're going to be talking about identifying common limiting beliefs about the self. So we're going to just go ahead and dive on in. I'm going to start out with housekeeping while people are rolling in, just to make sure we have as much time as we can for content. I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did yesterday. This time around, when I am doing the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass Series, I want to give you all some text and some supplementary information to be able to dive in even deeper. So, the text that I'm going to be using today is going to be Healing the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw. Let me put it in the camera for everybody on in both places wherever you are, so you can go ahead and take a screenshot of that if you need it. I am going to be pulling some quotes from this text this evening along with the information that is in the workbook. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just go ahead and dive right in housekeeping while everyone's getting settled. Housekeeping item number 1, as always, is going to be interaction. As I'm going through the content and the information this evening, please feel free to interact with me. If you have any questions, comments, experiences, go ahead and drop those in the comment section. You all know that I'm very good about paying attention to what comes up. I want to make sure that everyone who comes to any of my workshops, that you're able to leave today with the information that you need. So if you do have a question, if I say something that doesn't make sense, don't sit on the other side of the screen confused. Go ahead and drop your question in the comment section, okay? Second housekeeping item is going to be sharing is caring. As I always say, tell a pimp, tell a player, tell a friend, tell a hater, tell somebody in your upline or your downline. That's going to help me extend my reach and do just a little bit more here on Higher Alignment, okay? Just like you're trying to grow, I'm trying to grow. If you're here on Instagram, I'm looking right here for Instagram. And then over here, I have Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. If you're on Instagram, go ahead and hit that arrow in the lower right hand corner of your screen and invite 2 or 3 of your friends in here, especially if you see that they have that little green icon next to their name. That's going to let you know that they are online and they're ready for this information. So do not be a hater in this street, in these streets. Do not be stingy with this information. Go ahead and invite a friend or 2 on in here, okay? So tonight's workshop will not have a replay on Instagram, okay? It will not have a replay on Instagram. The replay is going to be housed on YouTube. It is going to be on Twitch. I just learned that Twitch hosts the videos for about 2 weeks, then they take them down. That's perfectly okay for our purposes here. And if you have the actual masterclass series, which I'm going to talk about in just a few moments, then of course you will have the replays from last year's content as well as this year's content and the workbook. It will all be housed inside of that online, inside of the online school. Okay. Third housekeeping item is going to be my text list. If you want to join my text list, I do send out notifications about 10 to 15 minutes before I go live. I have it in the chat everywhere we are. All you're going to have to do is text the word higher, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Text the word higher, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Hey artists, how you doing? Text the word higher, HIYER, to 888-533-6979. Okay, that way you can get on my text list. If you were previously on my text list on Monday or Tuesday, I sent you all a gift. Okay, and it was a gift only available for those who are on my text list. That does expire at midnight tonight. Okay, it does expire at midnight tonight. So anybody who takes advantage of that gift, I am going to be mailing out those items tomorrow. Okay, so you will have until midnight tonight to take advantage of that. Go ahead and grab your gift, and then I will be mailing everything out tomorrow. So if you're on my text list, I do send out discounts, promotions, freebies, as well as the notifications. Okay, and if you want to join, then the information is in the chat, um, wherever you're watching this. Okay, let's see. The fourth housekeeping item is going to be the workbook in the masterclass series. I would highly advise that you at least have the workbook. It's going to contain all of our daily reading material, activities, exercises. We're going to be going through some of those today, and I'm going to talk about the homework from Monday. The workbook is very inexpensive, you all. I do not like money to be a reason why people cannot engage in personal development and improve their life. So I have discounted the workbook. It is 50% off. So instead of it being $22.22, it's going to be $11.11. So if you do not have the workbook, hop out of my live, tap the link in my bio, and go ahead and grab that. We are going to be reviewing that this evening. If you want to level up, and you want to get all of the replays from last year's content, you want to get this year's content, and you want to get the workbook, it's all going to come bundled together. You can go ahead and enroll for the actual masterclass series. The link is in my bio for that as well. It's going to be $33.33 today. It's originally $88.88. Okay, so it's more than a 50% discount. Next week, it is going to go up to $44.44. The week after, it's going to be up to $55.55, and then it'll go back up to the $88.88. Over here on Instagram, can you all hear me and see me okay? I see people like coming in and out, and typically when I see that, it kind of means that perhaps there's an audio issue. I think I got the microphone on right. There's an audio issue or a visual issue. Drop me a number 8 in the comment section if you can hear me and see me okay. That's just going to let me know that we are ready to roll. We don't have any technical issues. I want to make sure that we have those ironed out before I actually begin the content. So I'm going to continue talking. Okay, thank you for the 8s. I appreciate it. So for those who are already enrolled in the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass Series, tomorrow you're going to see all of the content from Monday and today. You're going to see that uploaded. So I'm editing the videos now, chopping up the different sections, and then you will see those videos populate in the new 2022 section. Okay. Fourth housekeeping item is going to be the live sale. Yesterday, I went live, just impromptu, showing you all how I make the hand-rolled incense. And then you're going to see a little bit more of the behind the scenes tomorrow. But on August 13th at noon, so it's not this Saturday, but the upcoming Saturday, I'm going to have our next live sale. I'm going to have some new crystal jewelry. I'm going to have hand-rolled incense. So I'm really doing the cones right now because I got these cute little incense trays where the smoke kind of filters down into the 2 different chambers. Let me show you. So I'm making the hand-rolled incense, the cones. I'm going to have them in the come hither and the chrysalis scent. So like a jasmine scent is the come hither, and then the chrysalis is going to be more grounding, that cedar wood, that sandalwood, and patchouli. So I will have these bundled together. I'm going to have some new crystal jewelry. Let me show you one of the pieces that I was previously working on. So this is a labradorite. You all know that I love labradorite. It's like the light is not catching it how I want it to. Kind of okay. You can kind of see the flash right there. It's a little shimmer, just a little bit. Let me show you over here. Let me see if we get the flash right. Is it not going to work for us? Okay, you can see the flash on that. So I'm going to have tons of crystal jewelry and just some new items. We're going to do a small live sale. So if you want to pop in, I'm going to have some deals. Make sure you're on my text list and on the email list so that you can get those notifications. That's all that I have for us this evening. So let's go ahead and jump into the content. If you are watching this on the replay, anywhere where you can catch the replay and you don't know who I am, allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach, mindfulness and meditation practitioner, and mindset guru. I'm here to give you the tips, tools, and techniques that you can use in order to create a positive shift and transformation in your life. Today is day 2 of the Limiting Beliefs Masterclass Series. Yesterday we did the intro. We talked about what are limiting beliefs, where do they come from. I gave you plenty of examples. We talked about how they impact us. Today we're going to be diving a little bit deeper, and we're going to talk. Let me mute that. And we're going to talk about limiting beliefs about the self. So, this is going to be about self confidence, self esteem, body image, abilities. So, we're going to dive into that this evening. The way that I have structured this masterclass series is the first few days, we're actually just going through and identifying limiting beliefs in your life in various areas, and then we're going to work on releasing and transforming those limiting beliefs. So you want to make sure that you have the workbook. You want to make sure that you're doing the homework, because as the day goes along, you're going to get a more refined understanding about yourself, what you think about yourself, how your thoughts and how your beliefs are impacting your world. And that way, when we get to the day when we're working on releasing and transforming, you already have all of that information. Okay. So go ahead and pull up your workbook. Go ahead and pull up your workbook, and you want to go ahead and turn to page 10. Pull up your workbook and turn to page 10. So what I want you to do is go ahead and take a few moments and review the homework from Monday. The homework that we did specifically, well, the in session self exploration questions that we did specifically were related to those negative I am statements. Hello, Asir. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The homework that we did was specifically related to I messed up, y'all. The in session self exploration questions that we did related specifically to those negative I am statements. And as we talked about, many negative limiting beliefs that we have about the self, they come in the form of these negative I am statements. So, what I want you to do is just go ahead and quickly review what you wrote down. And if you have like your notebook or a journal, or you're taking notes for this, go ahead and write down the negative I am statements that you identified at the top of your paper. Okay, go ahead and write those down at the top of your paper, because you want to have those available once again as we go through. We're going to continue to expand upon that information and dive in deeper. We're going to dive down into it, get into the nitty gritty. Thank you. Always such a beacon of light and love. Your courses have changed my life. Oh, I'm so thankful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining this one. We're on day 2. So go ahead, make sure that you have the workbook for this evening. I put the link in the description so you can go ahead and grab that. And we're going to continue. We're just going to continue on through, y'all. So I'm pulling up my notes and my workbook as well. Once again, we're gonna start off on page 10. So let me just read a little bit from the workbook. Limiting beliefs about the self. Hidden negative limiting beliefs about the self are at the core of the dysfunctional way that we relate to ourselves and to the world around us. These beliefs structure the way in which we define ourselves and present ourselves to the world. We have adopted false beliefs, perceptions, and judgments about ourselves that lead to low self esteem, a decrease in confidence, poor body image, and a host of other afflictions. As our primary relationship is the one with the self, it is necessary to resolve these negative beliefs about the self and transform them into empowering beliefs. When we transform our negative beliefs about the self into empowering beliefs, we change the way in which we relate to ourselves, to others, and the world around us. Okay. So we have a few different areas that we're going to talk about negative limiting beliefs. So we're going to just cover self-esteem. And in here, once again, on page 10, I kind of define them for you just to make sure we have a clear understanding. And we're going to define self-esteem as confidence in one's own worth, abilities, or self respect. And then we're also going to talk about confidence. Confidence is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, having firm trust. So we're talking about trusting in ourselves, trusting in our abilities, standing in our truth, and really we are talking about the way that our behaviors manifest from our beliefs. Earlier in the day, I did give an example of negative beliefs in relationships and love and relationships, and we're going to dive into that deeper on Friday. But you can think about that. The example that I gave is say you always tell yourself, I'm ugly, or I'm too skinny, or I'm too fat, or no one likes me. These are negative beliefs that you have about yourself. And say you're out somewhere, you see someone who you like, you see someone who you find attractive, and that person is actually looking at you as well. They come over to approach you, they try to strike up some conversation with you, they want to engage with you, but perhaps because you have these negative beliefs about yourself that are so ingrained in your just day-to-day life, this can result in maybe you come off very shy, maybe they're trying to make you laugh or they're trying to make you smile, but you don't even really want to talk to them, you don't want to look at them, you don't want to engage in the conversation, you can't find anything to talk about. Maybe when they're giving you compliments, you're even turning the compliments down. So perhaps from their perspective, it comes off as you're not interested. But it's not that you're not interested, it's really just a manifestation of your beliefs and your belief systems that is playing out in your behavior. Okay. So hopefully that's clear. If that's clear, go ahead and drop my number 8 in the comment section below. I just want to make sure that you're picking up what I'm putting down. You're smelling what I'm stepping in, that it makes sense so far, right at the beginning, as we dive in a little bit deeper. Okay. Let me just see if we get some 8s. And if you can't give me an 8, go ahead and give me your question. Let me see some 8s or let me see some questions. I'm opening up my book. I told you I'm going to read to you a little bit from Healing the Shame That Binds You. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing the 8s. I'm seeing the 8s everywhere. So, one of the main ways that negative beliefs play out in our life is we have these experiences of shame. Now, in the book Healing the Shame That Binds You by John Bradshaw, he illustrates that shame is actually the only emotion that binds other emotions. So the example that I'll give you, and we kind of see this a lot with women, how can we use shadow work to work through self-doubt? So that is a very, very big question. And we're kind of in, that's exactly what we're talking about now. So the shadow is the part of the psyche where you relegate aspects of your being that you don't feel are worthy of being shown to the light of consciousness. Now, different people have different definitions of shadow work. So that's a topic that I can't go into depth right now, but understand that what we're doing right now is shadow work. Shadow work, we can define it as bringing to light the things that you are unaware of, or that you're pushing away. So if you're doing the homework, if you have done those negative I am statements, if you've done the homework about disproportionate, let me come back to the workbook so I can actually give you the information directly from it. So we did the negative I am statements, the what if statements, disproportionate reactions, and repetitive patterns. If you're going through this information and you are actually engaging in those journaling activities and you're looking at the questions and you're reflecting honestly on the answers, you should be able to bring up some information that perhaps you were previously unaware of, or things that you were putting out of sight that you were relegating to the shadow aspect of the psyche. And that's going to be shadow work. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me come back to my notes. Let's see. Okay, so shame is actually an emotion that binds other emotions, and when it binds another emotion, it stops us from fully expressing that part of ourselves, and we can end up manipulating our behavior, which means that we're not showing up in the world authentically. Perhaps you would be saying no to things that you would say yes to. You're saying yes to things that you feel you should say no to. You're allowing other people to violate your boundaries, or you're trying to act a certain way and move a certain way and say things in a certain way so that you can get the other person or the world to perceive you in the way that you want them to see you. But the thing is, if you didn't have that shame that came up from those negative beliefs, you would just speak what's on your heart. You would stand in your truth. You would just live through your authenticity and allow that light to shine through. But because we have this shame that binds these other emotions, we have the shame that comes in, we try to maneuver around that. One way that an example that I can give you is, think about in contemporary society, a lot of times you hear or we see that women shouldn't be angry. You see this a lot. They say that a woman should be docile, a woman should be submissive, she should not go against her husband, and that means in many situations if she's angry she should keep her mouth shut. We see this with children as well. We indoctrinate children into this. So when a child is angry or a child is upset, you'll often hear a parent or a caretaker say, "You're not really angry. Stop acting like that. Stop looking like that. Wipe that look off your face." And that is shaming the child and saying, okay, now it's not, you should not express this anger. You should not show this part of yourself. So, as the individual grows up, perhaps when they experience anger, since that shame has bound that anger, whenever they feel anger, they feel ashamed, and then they don't learn how to express that in a healthy way. Can get you into a nasty, sticky situation. So I want to read just a little bit. There's two types of shame: healthy shame and toxic shame. Okay. So let's read a little bit about healthy shame. So I'm reading just from page 4 in this book, Shame as Permission to Be Human. What our healthy feeling of shame does is let us know that we are limited. It tells us that to be human is to be limited. Actually, we humans are essentially limited. We are by definition limited. Not one of us has or can ever have unlimited power. The unlimited power that many modern gurus offer us is false hope. Their programs calling us to unlimited power have made them rich, not us. They touch our false selves and tap our toxic shame. Healthy shame is an emotion which signals our limits. Like all emotions, healthy shame is an energy in motion. Like all emotion, it moves us to get our basic needs met. One of our basic needs is structure. We ensure our structure by developing a boundary system within which we operate. Structure gives our life form. Boundaries and form offer us safety and allow a more efficient use of energy. There's an old joke about the man who got on his horse and rode off in all directions. Without boundaries, we have no limits and easily get confused. We go this way and that, wasting a lot of energy. We lose our way. We become addicted because we don't know when to stop. We don't know how to say no. Healthy shame keeps us grounded. It is a yellow light warning us that we are essentially limited. Healthy shame is the basic metaphysical boundary for human beings. Healthy shame is a part of every human's personal power. It allows us to know our limits and thus use our energy more effectively. So, think about this. When you're a child, when you're younger, perhaps maybe you take off your diaper. You go in public, you're at home, your parents have family members or friends that come over, and you're younger than a toddler. Perhaps you can't even talk. You take off your shirt, you take off your diaper, and you're running around. You feel free. Now, that's all cute and cool when you're young, but when you get older, that's not going to be appropriate. So As you get older, if you continue to do that, your caretakers, your society around you will shame you, giving you this dose of healthy shame to give you that yellow light to say, hey, slow your roll. You might want to put some boundaries right here, because you're going to get yourself into a situation, you're going to get yourself into an experience that's not going to be harmonious for you. So shame does have an appropriate place. It gives us those healthy boundaries. Yes, protecting your modesty. So and this is just an example. So it's not about revealing your body or not revealing your body or anything like that. I'm just giving the example of what healthy shame looks like. There are many examples and many situations that I could, give examples of that don't relate to this at all. But I think that this is easy to understand, that you may not want to be taking off all of your clothes in every situation you're going through as an adult. Perhaps that is an activity that children do, but it's not appropriate for adults. Say you're in court, you're at your job, something like that. That's not a place where you want to be taking off your tops and your bottoms, okay? Unless that is your job. So you have this healthy sense of shame. Let's talk about toxic shame. Let me read to you what John Bradshaw says about toxic shame. Um, and this is from the first page 3 actually. Because of its preverbal origins, shame is difficult to define. It is a healthy human power which can become a true sickness of the soul. There are two forms of shame: nourishing shame and toxic, life destroying shame. As toxic shame, it is an excruciatingly internal experience of unexpected exposure. So think about how it feels to feel shame. Doesn't it feel like you were unexpectedly exposed? A part of you was exposed and you don't know how to deal with that. It is a deep cut felt primarily from the inside. It divides us from ourselves and from others. In toxic shame, we disown ourselves. And this goes back to Asir's question about the shadow and shadow work. We have, two main parts of the psyche: the unconscious and the conscious. And in the unconscious, we have this part called the shadow, where we will push away parts of ourselves that we feel are unloved or unlovable. So we create this split. We create this split within the personality, and we'll say, okay, it's okay for me to show my fun side. It's okay for me to be jokey. It's okay for me to laugh and do all of that, to be fun in public. But perhaps when I was younger, I was shamed for being too serious, and so now I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to show when I'm serious. So you meet these people who are just very, very jokey all the time, and they don't have boundaries, and they don't have this balance. Perhaps that's a manifestation of that toxic shame that they received as a child, showing up in their adult relationships or their adult experience of life. Okay. Let's see. Toxic shame parades in many garbs and get-ups. It loves darkness and secretiveness. So think about the things that you are ashamed of. There are probably things that you hold as secrets. Um, let's see. It loves darkness and secretiveness. It is the dark aspect of shame which has evaded our study, because toxic shame stays in hiding and covers itself up. We have to track it down by learning to recognize its many faces and its many distracting behavioral cover ups. And this is exactly what we're doing in this masterclass. We're learning to identify where that shame, hey, Tammy, welcome. We are learning to identify where that shame shows up, what it looks like in the form of negative limiting beliefs, as well as what the behavioral components of it looks like. Okay. If all of that makes sense so far, drop me a number 8 in the comment section. That's going to let me know that you're picking up what I'm putting down. You're smelling what I'm stepping in. We've talked about, we reviewed a little bit from yesterday, talked about negative limiting beliefs. Healthy shame, toxic shame, how it happens. Okay, I'm seeing the eights over here from YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm checking over here as well. If you cannot give me an eight, gift me your question so that I can answer it. I want to make sure that we're clear before we move forward. Okay. We see that toxic shame leads to that fracturing of the personality. It leads to the um I was about to use the wrong word, the pushing away, the suppression of certain parts of our personality that we don't feel like we want to express, but we don't end up being able to show up in the world authentically and holistically, as we say. Okay, perfect. So I want to go ahead and get into the workbook. Go ahead and open up your workbook. We have a few sections to go through. So let's see. Let's go to the section on self-esteem and confidence. So go ahead and turn to page 10, and you're going to look on the right-hand side of the page. When we have hidden negative limiting beliefs about the self, we severely impact our self esteem and confidence. When we have low self esteem and low confidence, we typically have poor boundaries. And we talked about that as well. We allow others to treat us in a way that is dishonoring and disrespectful because we believe that that's all that we deserve. When we have a high level of self esteem and confidence, the way in which we show up in the world and in our relationships is completely different. We generally have more positive and empowering interactions and experiences. We are open to love and acceptance, and we have compassion for ourselves and those around us. We can also talk about shame in relationship to our abilities. Our self esteem and confidence are intrinsically linked to our beliefs and our abilities. This may be beliefs about our abilities to accomplish a certain task, like driving on the highway, or it could be beliefs about your abilities to satisfy your own personal needs to create stability and security in your life. A lot of us are stuck living in survival mode instead of thriving because we have a core negative limiting belief that we are unable to create lasting stability and security in our life. And you often hear me talk about this when um, we talk about decision making. Some of us may have core limiting beliefs that make us think that we can't trust ourselves and we can't trust our abilities to make certain decisions. And that can often show up as blaming. When we get ourselves into a negative experience or a sticky situation, we're not able to take full responsibility for it because we're trying to push away those feelings of vulnerability. But what we don't realize is there's power in our vulnerability. If we can say, you know what, I made a decision that got me into this situation, that means that I have the power to get myself out of that situation. If I say, I'm in this negative situation, life isn't going the way that I want it to go, but it's not my fault. It's the world's fault. It's my partner's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's whoever's fault. Then what we're saying is I didn't have any ability to get myself in this situation, and automatically that robs us of our power to get us out of that situation. And that comes from a core negative belief of I cannot trust myself, I cannot trust my intuition. And once again, we learn a lot of these things when we are younger. Well, I gave you the example earlier. Especially, I'll say, in the Black community, we hear this often. A child is upset or a child is angry, and instead of asking the child why they're upset or why they're angry and showing the child how to express their emotions and how to honor how they feel, we teach the children, you cannot trust yourself. You cannot trust your emotions. We'll say, you're not angry. You're not really angry. Stop looking like that. You're not sad. Wipe that look up off your face. Don't act like that. Don't say that. Don't do that. And what that teaches the child is, I can't trust myself. I can't trust my emotions. And then you grow up and you have these feelings of, I cannot provide for myself. I need someone else to depend on. I can't depend on me. I can't depend on myself. I can't make the proper decisions for myself because that's what you have been shown and that's what you have been taught and that's what's been ingrained in you. So we have to be able to identify that so that we can unlearn it, okay? So that we can unlearn it. We are hyper vigilant, looking out for the dangers around every corner instead of being able to see opportunities, changes, opportunities for growth, and a plethora of ways to create abundance and prosperity in our experiences. Another way that we often common limiting beliefs about the self show up is within body image, issues relating to our body image. How many of us have this? We think we're too skinny, too fat, too ugly, too this, too that, when really no, oh, we all have bodies. None of our bodies are perfect. I don't care if you have a six pack or whatever. We're used to living in the days of social media where people can, alter their images and alter their pictures. And once again, why are they doing that? These behaviors stem from core negative limiting beliefs that say, I am not enough, I am not worthy. As me being me, I have to conform and make myself look like this. I have to do this. I have to do that in order to acquiesce to the world around me. This is a manifestation of a core negative limiting belief. Okay. So what I want to do is let's go ahead and scroll down to page 12 in the workbook. Let's do some of these journaling activities. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes in between each one. And then I'll flip back and forth in order to bring the information back in. Okay. So drop me a number 1 in the comment section below when you're ready for the first journaling prompt. If you don't have your pen, your paper, notebook, tablet, whatever you need, go ahead and grab that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and drop me a number 1. I want to make sure that you have that available and with you so that you can engage in the activities. Okay. Remember, you definitely want to get the workbook. So the activities that we're going to go through start on page 12. So you can grab that for $11.11 tonight. It's going to contain all of our daily reading material, activities, exercises, how-tos. It contains links to external meditations and all types of resources so that you can dive in deeper, even deeper than what we're going to be able to go through in these 45 minutes to an hour. We're not going to do each exercise because I also want to honor the coinage of those of you who have the workbook and who have gotten the entire program. So I will give you some of them. And then for those of you who have them and want to who have the resources and want to dive in even deeper, you're going to continue and do the rest for homework. Okay, I'm seeing those ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all know I'm looking on multiple screens right now. So prompt number 1. Look around your world and your experience and consider, where do you feel stuck right now? Look around your world and look at your experience and consider, where do you feel stuck right now? And I'm going to review the 7 areas of life for those of you who are not familiar with those, and that's going to help you get a little bit more specific. You want to be very specific. Don't be general, be specific. So we have health and fitness, relationships, career, finance, personal development, spirituality, and recreation. Okay, let me review those again. And whichever one resonates with you, go ahead and write it down and take a few moments to even write even more, get even more specific. Don't just write down the area of life. Write down the area of life and write down how this is showing up in your life today. Health and fitness, relationships, career, finance, personal development, spirituality, and recreation. Go ahead and take a moment to identify that area of life and what specifically what is it about that area of life where you feel stuck? Where do you feel stuck? What's going on? Just text the number for the workbook. The workbook is you'll access the workbook through the link. So let me go ahead and find that. The text is for the text list so you can get notifications before I go live. Here is the link to the workbook. It should be on its way. So you can click that and you'll be able to grab the workbook for $11.11. So I put the link directly in there for you all on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. If you're on Instagram over here, you can hop out of my live, tap the link in my bio. You're just going to go to the Easy Tree link. And I think it's actually the first link. I think it's the first link. It's going to be right there in red, and you'll be able to grab that. So take another 60 seconds or so and finish up your first journaling exercise and leave. If you're writing in the workbook, this is on page 12, and you can type directly in that gold box, so it will be fillable. You can type directly in there. But if you have a journal or just paper near you, go ahead and write down your answer and leave a little bit of space so that after the workshop is over, if you need to fill in more information, you have the space to do that. You all know normally I have tea. Wasn't able to get my tea in today before we started, but so I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and grab some water. Once you have that finished, go ahead and drop me a number 2. Let me see some twos. Let me see some twos. Let me see some twos. So the first question was, look around your world and your experience and consider, where do you feel stuck? I want you to get what you need. I don't want you to, I don't want you to leave here with just some generic, watered down information. I want to make sure that this is specific to you and that you have what you need. Okay. I'm seeing those twos coming through already. Thank you, artists over here on Instagram. Thank you, Asir over here on YouTube. Prompt number 2. What beliefs about your world and your experience support you being and feeling stuck in the areas that you identified in question 1? So let me give you some examples to further solidify this. So here, what the goal is to expose your beliefs about yourself and your experience in the world. So say you don't have the money that you want right now. Say the bills are piling up and you chose that area of life of finances. You say, you know what, I feel stuck in my financial life right now. My credit card bills are due and I don't have the money to pay them. Bills are constantly coming in. My friends are going out. They're having fun. They're on vacation. It's summertime. They're at all the festivals. They're having Sunday fun day. They're at brunch, having a bottomless mimosas. And I'm at home. I'm at home. And then you think about, what beliefs do you have about the world? Maybe you believe that money doesn't grow on trees and I have to work hard for my money and I'm not working hard enough. Maybe it's that my job, somebody at my job has it out for me. My boss has it out for me. I keep asking for a raise. I'm working hard, but they just don't like me. No one likes me at my job. They don't value me, and no one ever likes me. No one values me. They don't see who I am. And so I'm never going to be able to get ahead. I'm never going to be able to get my money. Maybe it's that, maybe you think, I grew up poor. My entire family is poor. All of my friends are poor. I just live in a poor world, and consumerism is very active, and this entire world is just about money. Maybe you think that rich people are evil. I'm just throwing all kinds of stuff out there to give tons of examples, because people have different mindsets and different perspectives and different beliefs. But what you really want to get from this is, think about, where do you feel stuck, and what beliefs what beliefs about the world do you use to validate you being and feeling stuck? Okay? Where do you feel stuck, and what beliefs about the world and about you do you have that you say, you know what, this is the reason why. This is the reason why I'm stuck. This is the reason why I'll always be in this situation. This is the reason why I'm never going to get out. Life is hard. The world is cold. It's a dog eat dog world. All of those are examples of negative limiting beliefs. Do you have any of those? If so, go ahead and write them down. Identify them. It's not about shame. It's not about blame. It's not about guilt. It's about identification. Hello, intentional debt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Chef Sandman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So while you all are doing that, don't forget, for those of you who are just entering, or if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and tap the link in my bio and grab the companion workbook. It is $11.11 this evening. It is not expensive, okay? It's going to contain all of your daily reading material, activities, exercises, everything that we're going through. If you want to level up and you want to get all of the replays, you want to get yesterday's content, you want to get Monday's content, you want to get today, you want to get all of the information that I'm going to be going through moving forward, and you want to get the workbook, and you want to get access to the content that I'm going to upload in the future anytime I update this, you want to go ahead and grab the entire masterclass series. You can grab that for $33.33 this evening versus $88.88. Next week it's going to go up to $44.44. The week after it'll be $55.55, and then it'll go back to $88.88. So go ahead and grab it for the low while you can, okay? So hopefully that was enough time for you all to finish those questions. And then go ahead and turn to page 11. So just scroll back up, and I just want to talk a little bit about the last section, body image, okay? Negative limiting beliefs about body image, because these are the areas, the most common negative limiting beliefs that we have about the self. Self-esteem, confidence, abilities, and body image, okay? So let's read from page 11. Hidden negative limiting beliefs are about our bodies are also at the center of our dysfunction with ourselves. We may believe that we are ugly, that we are fat, too skinny, too dark, or too pale. We may have negative limiting beliefs about a part of our body like our nose, arms, thighs, or sexual genitalia. The way in which we relate to our body is impacted by these negative beliefs. We may be led to abuse and neglect our body instead of treating it like a very good close friend. And what comes up in my mind is that even exercise and fitness, this can be abusive. Some people are engaging in exercise and fitness from a very healthy perspective, from a place of healthy core beliefs. So they feel good about their body. They want to improve their body, when they want to improve the functioning of their body because they already feel good about it and they're just trying to level up. But think about people who compulsively exercise and they count every calorie and they're always on a diet and they never eat because they're approaching health and fitness and exercise from a place of negative limiting core beliefs. And this can lead them to abusing their bodies. Okay. So you can have many different perspectives, and once again it's about the way that the behavior manifests and the point of view from which that behavior manifests. Are you taking care of your consider how you feel about your body as a biological entity and how you treat it. Are you taking care of your friend who is here with you in this world, and I'm referring to your body, who is closer to you than any other? Are you saying nice things to your friend? Are you feeding it healthy, nourishing foods as a mother caring for her child? Are you subjecting your body to abuse and negative habits that cause a decline in its biological functions? If you're not treating your body as a great, close, intimate friend, consider why. Why is that? What makes you believe that you or the body, sorry, my computer connection just like flipped. What makes you believe that you or the body deserves this type of treatment? What makes you believe that you cannot achieve better and treat your body better? I'm sure you're getting the point by now, okay? So what I want to do is go ahead, scroll back down to page 12. And here we can see that there's another section of activities, confidence and self-confidence and abilities. And then if you scroll to page 13, you have 2 more journaling prompts. So there's 4 more in total. Let's do number 1 from under self-confidence and abilities. So number 1, I'm going to give you a few moments to write your answer to this one as well. Bring to mind a situation or experience that triggered your lack of confidence in yourself. So I'm going to give you a few moments to bring that to mind. Bring to mind a situation or experience that triggered your lack of confidence in yourself. Maybe it was something that happened in public. Maybe you were giving a performance. Maybe you were giving a speech that you rehearsed for. It didn't go as well as you wanted. Maybe you were trying to approach someone that you thought was cute, that you thought was handsome. You wanted to ask them out. It could have been something in private, maybe an argument within your close familial relationships or your friendships. Bring to mind whatever that situation is. This goes back to that shadow work that a seer asked about. You have to be open, honest, and authentic when you're doing this kind of self exploration, because it requires you to take a look at things that perhaps you feel uncomfortable looking at. So bring to mind a situation or experience that triggered your lack of confidence in yourself, your abilities to complete a task, or your ability to provide safety and security for yourself. What happened and in what ways did you not feel confident? So go ahead and take about 2 minutes. Take about 2 minutes to write your answer to that question. And if you all have any questions for me while you're doing that, you can drop those in the comment section and I will be sure to address those. But I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write your answer to that question. I'm just watching the timer. Take about your another 60 seconds to finish up your last thoughts, your last statements, your last sentences. And remember, I always say skip a few lines, leave some space, because after the workshop is over, you may want to revisit what you wrote. May want to write a little bit more and get a little bit more specific. I always advise being specific when you're doing these things. You'll see that it's going to be very helpful when we get to the day on releasing and transforming negative beliefs. And if you're doing all of the homework, if you're doing all of the activities, then when we get to that day, you should have a list. You should have a nice list, and you'll be able to choose whatever beliefs you want to work with in order to do the activities that we're going to do. Go ahead and take your last 20 seconds and finish that up. And then I am going to go ahead and read you the next journaling prompt, okay? Number 2 from page 12 says, list 3 to 5 beliefs about yourself that you told yourself in the moment that supported your lack of confidence. So when that experience happened, that experience that triggered your lack of confidence, what did you say to yourself? Sometimes after something traumatizing or triggering happens, you have those shower conversations. You're in the shower. You may not be in the shower. You may be washing the dishes. You may be walking down the street. You may be driving down the street. And all of these thoughts come into your mind. Sometimes you're thinking, if it was an argument, you think about what you should have said that you didn't say. But in this situation, maybe you were talking about yourself. Maybe you said some negative, nasty things about yourself. Be open and honest and write it down on the paper. Once again, it's not about shame, blame, or guilt. What did you say about yourself? What negative things did you say about yourself in that moment from that experience? What came up? Because chances are, if you said it then, that it wasn't an original thought. We covered that on day 1 about repetitive thoughts and how thoughts turn into beliefs. And I gave you the citation for that scientific study. So think about what you told yourself or things that you tell yourself in the moment when you have like a lapse of self-confidence and you don't believe in yourself. What are the things that you say to yourself that validate your feelings? You say, you know what? I am dumb. I'm stupid. I never do it right. I never learn. I always get it wrong. No one likes me. What is it that you say? I'm giving you some general ones, but that might be what you said to yourself. Okay. So from these four journaling prompts, you should be able to identify some negative limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, some things that you say about yourself, some negative limiting beliefs that you have about yourself in relation to the world around you, how you feel your place is in the world, or if you feel like the world is a cold, hard place, or, however it shows up for you. So from day one, you should have a list of negative I am statements. Just going back through, if you did the homework, then you have the negative I am statements. You have your negative what if statements. You have your examples of disproportionate reaction. So when you tend to blow up, you feel triggered. When we feel triggered, then we do what I call doing our thing. You start doing your thing, whether that be fighting, whether that be attacking, whether that be hiding, whether that be running, whether that be submitting, whatever it is, you start doing what you do. And once again, those are behavioral manifestations stemming from those negative limiting beliefs. So you should have identified those disproportionate reactions. And then in that section, there are 4 journaling prompts that are going to help you get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what beliefs are at the root of that. Then, if you go to page 9, you have the repetitive patterns in life. So you're asked to think about repetitive patterns, situations that you continuously find yourself in, and it can be from any of the 7 areas of life, and what beliefs you have about yourself that are supporting you continuously finding yourself in those troubling situations. From day 2, today, you should have been able to identify where you feel stuck, if there's any place in your life you feel stuck, and why you feel stuck, and what beliefs and behaviors are leading you to that place and leading you to be continuously in that place. And we just went through some journaling prompts related to limiting beliefs, self-confidence, and abilities. And then for your homework, go ahead and turn to page 13. Go ahead and turn to page 13, and you're going to see 2 more journaling prompts that are going to help you expand upon 1 and 2 that we just did from self-confidence and abilities. You're going to continue 1, and you're going to do 3, and you're going to do question number 4. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we have gone through this evening? Go ahead and drop me a number 8 in the comment section if you don't have any questions. If you do have a question, drop that for me and I will be more than happy to answer. Don't forget you can grab your workbook on sale this evening for $11.11 versus $22.22. You can tap the link in my bio. You're going to go to my Easy Tree. If you're on Instagram, on YouTube, there should be an Easy Tree link as well, but I also drop those links in the chat. Or if you want to get the whole shebang, you want to get the workbook, you want to get replays of all of the content and access to any future updates, you can go ahead and grab the entire masterclass series. That's going to be $33.33. It's more than 50% discount this evening. And remember, there's not going to be a replay for this on Instagram. I'm going to post it just for a moment, and then it's going to come right on down. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, but I know there's typically a lag. So I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds. On Friday, we're going to be back and we're going to be diving into negative limiting beliefs surrounding relationships and accepting and giving love. So if you are in that place where perhaps you have been looking for that boo thing, that loved one, or it doesn't even have to be that. Maybe just find that you are having trouble in your other familial relationships or in your friendships, and you think that it could be due to some negative limiting beliefs that you have in this area of life. We're going to dive into that as well. We're going to talk about your childhood and the way that you grew up and what did you learn and what did you see. Okay, I'm seeing eights. I'm seeing eights all the way around from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. I'm seeing eights. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Remember, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram at Higher Alignment. The next live sale is going to be August 13th at noon Eastern. I'm going to have new crystal jewelry, going to have floral wrap sage, going to have some hand blended herbal teas. I have been working on hand rolled incense. I'm going to do the incense cones in 2 different scents. So make sure that you join me, not this Saturday, but next Saturday on Instagram Live. And you can also check out higheralignment.com. That's the website for all of my physical products. No www, just higheralignment.com. Any order over $50 is shop now, pay later. So you can split your order into 4 interest-free equal installments. And the first payment is not even due for 2 weeks. So you'll have your items in hand, whatever it is that you order, before a dollar even comes out of your bank account. So you can't really beat that. So go ahead and check those things out. Once again, if you all have any questions, go ahead and hit me up. You know where to find me. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.